Every day, the male body quietly produces millions of microscopic cells designed for one purpose: reproduction. These cells are called sperm. They are so small that hundreds of them could fit across the width of a human hair. Yet each one carries half of the genetic information needed to create a new human life. But what most people don't realize is that each sperm cell takes more than 2 months to build. It is not created instantly. It is assembled step by step through an extremely precise biological process. And before leaving the body, every sperm must travel through a surprisingly complex transportation system. So how exactly does the male body create sperm, and how do those cells make their journey through the reproductive system? To understand that, we need to start inside the testes. Inside each testis are thousands of microscopic tubes called seminiferous tubules. These tubes are tightly coiled and packed together like a dense network of threads. If all of these tubules were stretched out and placed end to end, they would measure hundreds of meters in total length. These tubules are the factories where sperm production takes place, through a process known as spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the transformation of primitive germ cells into fully developed sperm cells. But it does not happen quickly. From beginning to end, the development of a single sperm cell takes about 64 to 74 days. That means the sperm leaving the body today actually began forming more than 2 months ago. At the beginning of this process are cells known as spermatogonia. These are the starting cells that divide repeatedly inside the seminiferous tubules. Some remain as stem cells, continuing the production process indefinitely. Others begin transforming through several stages of development. During these stages, the cell's DNA is carefully copied, reorganized, and condensed. Errors are corrected. Cells with damaged genetic material are removed. Gradually, the structure of a sperm cell begins to take shape. A compact head forms to carry genetic information. Behind it develops the midpiece, packed with mitochondria that generate energy. And finally, a long tail grows, allowing the sperm to swim. Each sperm becomes a highly specialized microscopic machine designed for movement and fertilization. But sperm cells cannot develop alone. Inside the seminiferous tubules are support cells called Sertoli cells. These cells act as caretakers and quality control supervisors. They nourish developing sperm cells, protect them from the immune system, and remove defective cells before development is completed. Without Sertoli cells, sperm production would fail entirely. Between the seminiferous tubules are another important group of cells called Leydig cells. These cells produce testosterone, the hormone responsible for male reproductive function. Testosterone does much more than influence reproduction. It helps regulate muscle growth, bone density, energy levels, red blood cell production, and mood. But the production of sperm and testosterone does not happen randomly. It is controlled by a communication system between the brain and the testes. This process begins in a small region of the brain known as the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus releases a hormone called GnRH, which signals the pituitary gland. In response, the pituitary gland releases 2 hormones into the bloodstream: luteinizing hormone, known as LH, and follicle-stimulating hormone, known as FSH. LH travels to the Leydig cells, stimulating them to produce testosterone. FSH travels to the Sertoli cells, activating their role in supporting sperm development. Together, these signals regulate the entire sperm production process. And once testosterone levels rise high enough, the brain reduces its signals, maintaining balance through a system known as negative feedback. This hormonal conversation between the brain and the testes continues constantly, without any conscious awareness. After developing inside the seminiferous tubules, sperm cells are still not ready to fertilize an egg. They must travel to another structure called the epididymis. The epididymis is a long, tightly coiled tube sitting on top of each testis. Here, sperm cells spend about 2 weeks maturing. During this time they gain the ability to swim and eventually fertilize an egg. They are also stored here until ejaculation occurs. When ejaculation happens, sperm begin a rapid journey through the reproductive tract. They leave the epididymis and enter a muscular tube called the vas deferens. The vas deferens acts like a transportation highway, carrying sperm upward toward the pelvic cavity. Along the way, sperm mix with fluids from several glands. The seminal vesicles add a nutrient-rich fluid that contains fructose, providing energy for sperm movement. The prostate gland contributes additional fluids containing enzymes that help protect and activate sperm. Together, these fluids combine with sperm cells to form semen. Semen then travels through the urethra and exits the body during ejaculation. The scale of sperm production is extraordinary. The male body can produce millions of sperm cells every single day. Yet only a tiny fraction of these cells will ever reach an egg. This is why the body produces such enormous numbers, to increase the chances that at least one sperm successfully completes the journey. But the entire process depends on one very important condition: temperature. Sperm production requires temperatures slightly lower than the body's internal temperature. That is why the testes are located outside the body in the scrotum, where temperature can be carefully regulated. Even small increases in heat can disrupt sperm development and reduce fertility. This delicate balance shows just how precise the human body must be for reproduction to occur. If you're enjoying this exploration of the hidden biology inside your body, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to Mysterious Facts of Life, where we explore the fascinating science behind human anatomy and evolution. And here's something interesting to think about.